Greetings everybody, welcome back to another video. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you make it to the end without me boring you to death and you falling asleep. Today I just wanted to do a little short video on one of my favourite systems, and one maybe that you've not experienced before, or maybe never even heard of it, because it was one that I certainly never heard of back in the day. I think it came around just before I was old enough to be aware of what was going on in the the current things available. Back when I started on my gaming journey, my parents bought me a Spectrum, and that was all I knew for a few years. I just knew what was put in front of me, so I never knew much else existed beyond the Commodore 64 some of my mates had at school. So what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about the MB VECTREX, and this is from the very early 80s. I think around the 81, 82 time. It was around 82. It was in the shops, just before the old dreaded video game crash in America, which I think put pay to this. That was the death of the VECTREX, I think, more or less. But yeah, it's an all-in-one unit, much like a CRT television, and it's a vector-graphic monitor, obviously in a long screen format like an arcade machine, and it comes with its own controller built in to the bottom of the unit, which I don't know if I can do it from here, but it does. No, I don't think I can. It's a bit awkward left-handed. But it does need, I can't do it from here. It's awkward, it's kaggy-handed. But yeah, it does fold up nicely, as you've probably seen in my other videos anyway. But yeah, it comes with its own controller. That's you can detach it, but you've got a joystick which moves around nicely, and then 4 fire buttons. And obviously it's made by MB, or Milton and Bradley, who you probably know for the the board games that were around in the 80s, of which I had many as a kid. I used to love MB board games, but I never knew this bloody thing existed. God, I wished I had. I didn't even know about this until, oh God, it must have been the late 90s, maybe later, probably noughties. I didn't know about this until when I started getting back into retro gaming. Yeah, I think it was mid-noughties I found out about this. I tried to set about getting one anyway, and eventually did, obviously. But what an amazing little console this is. You need it on a tabletop, basically. It's like a little tabletop arcade machine in effect. But it comes with one game built in, which is Mindstorm, and that's sort of like Asteroids, basically. Their version of Asteroids under another name. But what makes the console really cool, in addition to the vector graphics, is you've got these screen overlays, of which each game comes with its own, to sort of personalise the TV screen to the game you're playing. In this case, you can see we've got Scramble, which is like a shoot 'em up, basically, an early shoot 'em up. You could actually get the old LCD tabletop version of Scramble if you remember it. Like you could get Astro Wars and what was the other one? It was Caveman, wasn't there? Firefox, was it? But yeah, there was a Scramble, little, it's only that kind of size. But obviously this is much nicer with the vector graphics, absolutely beautiful. If you can remember the old vector graphic Star Wars machines, it's the same style screen on these games. That one seems to have froze. But yeah, you get one game built in, which is Mindstorm, as I say, and that comes with its own overlay, which makes the screen look quite a lot different, as you can tell, because it changes the screen colour and you've got the nice little border and the game title at the bottom. And you can actually plug another joystick controller in so you can play 2-player. But yeah, this is a shooter, like I say. I'm gonna and that's a cracking little game, a side-scrolling shooter, and you've got like a projectile weapon, like a bullet, and you've got like a bomb to hit things on the floor. I don't know if you can see it from here. Can you see the detail there, maybe? But yeah, and the one in built-in is Mindstorm, like I say, which is like Asteroids, really great version. And there's quite a few games, and there aren't a massive amount of games available, not original ones anyway. I don't know, maybe, I don't know, 15 or 20 came out for it back in the day. There's a lot of homebrew titles available for it now. But the original games, I think they're about 15 or 20. I did have a few more a while back, but stupidly I sold them. And I've kept about, what have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I've got 9 now, including Mindstorm built in. But to get them all boxed up in a nice condition with the manual and the overlay and the sleeve for the overlay and the cart, they are quite pricey. You're talking £50 plus for one game. None of mine are particularly mint. But I couldn't cope. I'm quite happy as long as I've got the overlay and the cartridge. That's my main concern. So in addition to Mindstorm and Scramble, as you've seen, I've got an unboxed Flipper Pinball, which is self-explanatory. It's a pinball game. It's not amazing, but it's quite a fun little game. And then my favourite game on the system is unfortunately a game I've not got the box for. I've just got the cart and overlay, and it's Spike. This is a cracking little platform game where you sort of climb the ladders, and it's kind of like Frogger in a way. You've got to sort of climb upwards instead of going sort of up the screen. You climb up ladders and across platforms to rescue your girlfriend, and it's got some fantastic speech. You know, we're talking 1982, this and speech. You know, this is groundbreaking stuff, guys. So I can't recommend Spike enough. My favourite game on the system. Awesome. Oh, and I've got the manual for that as well. That's what the manuals look like. They've kind of got a grid pattern on them, similar to Master System and Mega Drive, really. But they're just plain black and white inside. Nothing very exciting or sexy. Then the box games I've got, we've got not very good condition. This one, rip-off. You can see the size of the box is quite big, which it's got to be really for the size of the overlay. It's probably, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 inches by maybe 9 or 10 inches. It's quite a decent size. You put it next to like a GameCube there, you can see it's quite a big box. But yeah, this is another take on the Mindstorm or Asteroids genre, really. There's no screenshots on the back, it's all on the front of the box. It is complete inside with the overlay and the manual and the cart, but as I say, it's in rather poor condition. A lot of these, when you buy them, tend to come from Woolworths. I presume Woolworths were a big stocker of these back in the day. But yeah, it's a good little game, rip-off. Very similar to Mindstorm and Asteroids, but it's just slightly, I think it's slightly newer, maybe updated slightly, but it's very similar. And then, this proves my point. This is from Woolworths, and this is Clean Sweep. Can you see what that is from the front of the box? It's basically a Pac-Man rip-off, yeah. Again, good little game. I mean, you can see the Woolworths sticker. Someone's had a go at getting it off, but it's been on there 40 years. It ain't coming off now, is it? Nothing on the back. Not bad condition. It's not terrible. Got no plastic tray in this one, unfortunately. Cart's nice. But yeah, again, good little game. I've never played a crap game on it, to be honest. Every game I've ever played has been good. And this next one's probably my best condition game. And this is Starhawk. Now I don't know if you can tell from the screenshot on the front there. This is basically like the trench run in Star Wars, where Luke Skywalker's flying down the trench in the Death Star. It's basically that scene in vector graphic game form. Can't go wrong, can you? Great game. And this one is complete with its tray. I'll show you what the trays look like actually. So you've got, it's like a plastic, white plastic tray, and you've got the cartridge and the manual and the overlay. Missing the sleeve for the overlay actually. I would like to get more again, maybe one day. Then the next game we've got is Berserk. Now again, this is a rip-off of there's a game called Frenzy on the ColecoVision. Very similar game. Actually, I think that might be a rip-off of Berserk actually. I think this is this an Atari game, possibly? But yeah, basically, you've got your little dude, and you've got these lines which are basically walls, which offer protection, and you've got to kill the other bad guys without getting killed yourself. Fun little game. Recommend that one. That's Berserk. And then, I said Spike was my favourite game on the system. I think it is, but this is a very close second. On certain days this might be my favourite. And this is Web Warp. Now, can you tell from the screenshots what this is a rip-off of? Yep, you might have guessed right. It's more or less a carbon copy of Tempest, which is one of my all-time favourite games. And this obviously looks amazing in vector graphic form. Box is reasonable, but not mint. They're all the same style boxes, just the basic picture on the front is the VECTREX screen, basically how you'd see it at home. So it's quite a good way of promoting the game, really. And they're all the games I've currently got for it. I have had others, like I say. There's a Star Trek game. There's Armour Attack or something like that. That's like a tank trying to avoid being shot by the opposing enemy tank. Is it Armour Attack? Something like that. There's a cracking little racing game I did once have called Hyper Chase. Regret getting rid of that. That's a good game. There is a version of Pole Position which I've always wanted. I don't think that's an original release, but you can certainly get it now. Like I say, there's loads of current sort of homebrew titles. I think I'll just show you this. So you turn it off down at the front there. Cart's in the side. Put the cart in. The overlays can be a bit tricky to get out. So we'll take that one out. Put that one in. Turn it back on. And this is Spike, obviously, as I said. Now just listen to the speech on this for 1982 technology. But you can see how the overlay changes the appearance of the system, and thus And you can see you've got the little platforms to run across and jump across the gaps. And you've got to get up the ladders onto the top level to rescue your girlfriend Molly. It's a wicked game. I just absolutely love it. So charming. But an amazing console. I absolutely love it. If you can get your hands on one, I thoroughly recommend it. They are quite pricey, especially if you want one in a box. I mean, you're going to pay a few £100 for one. But you might pick up a unit only, you know, for maybe 100 odd quid. If you're lucky. But I wouldn't recommend posting it. You want to fetch it from somewhere that you can collect it from yourself. I wouldn't want to send one in a delivery van anywhere, I don't think. But yeah, what do you think, guys? Have you ever played on a Vectrex? Have you got one? Be interesting to hear your thoughts. What games do you recommend if you've got some knowledge of Vectrex? I'd love to know, and recommendations, especially about sort of newer homebrew games. I've not got much experience with those at all. So please let me know, guys. Hope you enjoyed the quick look at the MB VECTREX. Thanks for watching the video. If you've stuck oh no, Molly! If you've stuck through that far, thanks very much. Please ring that notification bell so you get notified when I upload new videos. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Please give me a thumbs up if you don't mind. That would be amazing. And what's the last thing? Oh yes, choose retro. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope to see you soon.